Aliani, and I am joined with the wonderful Jay Stanley, and we are here to talk about the Treat Dao Halloween magazine. So we're going to give a couple of minutes before we really get into it and see if some of the other creators join us. We've got, I think we had about 9 creators who contributed to the magazine this time around. So hopefully, we can get some more of them in here. We can talk about all the great images that were submitted, share some stories, and yeah, that'd be it. So I hope everyone's having a really good day today. And yeah, I'm gonna kind of like take a minute since it says we have just one viewer, and I'm gonna get things set up. I'm gonna pull this up here to see if I can like see more information. Oh, there we go. Okay, we are in fact live. So I hope everybody's doing wonderful today, getting ready for Halloween. Have you been doing any Halloweeny stuff?
Mostly just looking at the lovely trees and my pumpkins on the front porch. So not too much besides that.
That's cool. How are the leaves this year?
They're beautiful.
Aren't they?
Yeah. Oh my God, they're like glowing orange and red, and it's incredible. A lot fell off today, but So then they were all over my porch and my driveway, and and kind of in that wonderful close up where you're seeing the actual color of the texture of the individual leaf. It was really nice.
Right? That's lovely. I'm at
Yeah.
the park today, and it was definitely the whole leaves. Like we had, oh hello, we can see the chat on here. Hello
Ah,
there.
great. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, doing very good, Peter. How are you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Who, me or John? I mean, we both got pretty great outfits on. So, what color is the hat? You can't really
My
tell the
hat?
either purple or red.
It's sort of like a magenta, I think. It's a little between purple and red.
Very nice.
Hmm.
So, your contributions to the magazine were really unique and different, and compared to some of the other stuff, they were cool. So, I'm excited to talk to you some more about those and how that all came to be. We'll get into that in just a couple of minutes. This is my Halloween outfit. I'm doing 3 different witchy outfits. I was a witch yesterday, and of a different kind. And today we're doing the pink witch to celebrate the treat Halloween. All right, so I'm just gonna be boring for a second and just check in and see if any of the others need our help getting in here. Mr. Stanley, could you possibly look on Telegram? Do you have that available?
I
Because
do.
I only on my phone and I don't want to.
I have it up now, and there's nothing new past
Okay, great.
the message you put out.
Let me know, like if somebody can't get in or they try to join or something like that.
For sure.
Okay, great. All right, so while we're waiting, we're gonna just go ahead and really just talk about what the Tree Down magazine is, why the Halloween edition is special, and really what it's all about. So we are on volume 14, the one that's going to be released tomorrow. And see, I wrote this down because it's going to sound better if I explain proper blurb. Unique, high quality print on demand publication dedicated to art, beauty, crypto lifestyles, hard hitting interviews, and the latest trending Web3 features and news. It has been a couple of years going now, like I said, volume 14. There's been interviews and features by Stormy Daniels, Brittany Andrews, and quite a number of wonderful creators and significant influential creators. So it's really an honor to be a part of this magazine. And this one in particular is full of all kinds of really cool articles. It was a really fun one for me to read, anyways. Starting with like the digital identifiers, um, decentralized digital identifiers. So if you don't know much about that, I would definitely check that article out. Definitely, if you're into Web3, crypto, that's super interesting stuff. Our very own Rob Sloan, the chief editor and kind of putter together of the magazine, did an AMA with the Galactica, and they talked in length about what these digital identifiers are and what they can do, and how they can make people's lives better and easier. And actually, I think I'm probably going to be a super nerd about that after reading the article, because it is some pretty significant stuff that I think we could all benefit from. uh, Also in the magazine, we talk about the haunted places, the most haunted places in the world, and one of them is the Stanley Hotel. So I thought about you, and I was like, oh great, I think your images might be somewhere like in that area too. Seem to fit, look really great. A
Wow.
creepy pasta gallery where we have a bunch of images from the creators. Like you said, we had like 8 or 9 creators this time. And then the last big feature is the real horror. Why do we find true crime fascinating? And that was a pretty good read as well. And also had some like helpful tips. So if you like watch too much true crime, what you can do about it. I was really hoping for more people, but we're gonna do the very best that we can. So now that since I have you, Jay Stanley, like to know about where the images came from. So you're a photographer,
Hmm.
and yeah, if you want to tell us about.
Sure. So there were two images. They're both black and white, and they're both of two. They're each of two of a performer. Um, Shelbs is coming, she says. Okay. Um, there are performers doing fire dancing in a club in Portland, Oregon, and these pictures were taken a few years ago when I was living there before I moved back east, uh, and in Portland at that time there was a really strong kind of alternative circus and burlesque scene, and I discovered it through funny ways, and then just like fell in love with it and said, oh my gosh, I want to be involved in this. And I'm not a performer, I'm a photographer, but I just started showing up to shows and realizing very quickly that the scene in Portland was very well, it was very performative. People dressed up, not just the performers, but people who were coming. The fans dressed up in sort of a little bit like what I'm doing, like vintage, kind of 1920s inspired. And in fact, the biggest circus in town was called the Wanderlust Circus, and it was all sort of built around as if it was this circus that had been traveling around the world for hundreds of years. It was a really lovely scene, and I just started kind of showing up with my camera, and then I would photograph and try to figure out how am I photographing technically, and who are these people, and wow, this is wild. And then I would post the pictures at that time on Facebook because that was kind of the dominant medium, and got some really nice feedback from people, and they from the producers of the shows, and they kept inviting me back. So basically, I for a couple of years I was few years I was going to circus and burlesque shows several times a week. And I also, it's hard to show this without the pictures in front of me, but as I said, they're black and white, and they're actually shot on film. So I've done a lot of film photography, old school analog photography, and just decided it made the most sense for that environment, and that was really appreciated by the people, the performers, the producers, etc. And that kind of is partly what makes those pictures work, is just this like high contrast, very dark, um, kind of very dark with the fire, the light from the fire and the light from the stage lights. So yeah, so for several years as I said, I would go out 2 or 3 times a week. I would take a lot of photos. I would develop them. I would not print them, but scan them, get them out. And And there was just a wonderful quality to almost every show of like magical and a little spooky and a little gothy and a little punk and a little, you know, are we in the 1920s or the 2020s? And it was a magical time. So it's those pictures are sort of weirdly timeless, and I feel they're timeless. And so it's wonderful to pull them out and use them for, in a different context. And it is kind of ironic that it's going into a magazine that's highly digital in terms of a lot of the work and the infrastructure and so on. And so I think it's kind of fun to have things that are very analog in there.
Yeah, that's why I was really happy about your submissions because,
Mm.
eh, yeah, something different. And so I have questions about them because there really are stunning images. So when you see films, so when you took them, they were black and white. So they were like black and white images the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. They're black and white film, taken in a not necessarily an ancient camera, but an ancient type of camera. It's 35 millimeter film, and it's a certain kind of film that is very high contrast. It's designed for low light, and so that's why you get this really, light and dark kind of look. But yeah, in real film, like a roll of film, and then developed in real chemicals, um, and then, as I said, scanned in order to get it, into our funny real world that we're in nowadays.
So was it hard to capture the fire
Um, it was hard to
or
get
the
to the. Yeah, it took some experimentation. I learned a lot. I've been photographing for years before that, and it was interesting to realize that the sort of technique was, I mean, I basically was going and experimenting, coming home and developing the pictures, and then saying, "Geez, those didn't work at all." And so I messed around a lot with exposure and shutter speed, like, well, basically aperture and shutter speed. Also, in order to so I was basically shooting a lot, and people were performing, and they would often move back and forth across the screen, and so or across the stage. So there was sort of this funny balance of getting enough light to capture the fire and the stage lights and the body of the performer. But not too much to blow it out. And I finally came on a perfect, for me, this like perfect equation that I used then. Like I basically set up my camera the same exact way for every single shot after that, and it always worked. So if there's photographers out there, f4 at 125th of a second at 1600 ASA on this Delta 3200 film, that was like the magic combination.
that that's super nerdy. Love it. How
Yeah.
long did it take you to nail that down?
Yeah, it took me a while. It took me definitely a couple, probably 100 pictures or something, a couple of shows to that one out. Yeah.
Well, here I've got one of the images pulled up.
Ah, perfect.
Okay, a little hard to see there.
Right.
That's the one. Next time we do this, we're gonna have this better where we can like show them on the screen and stuff. So there's our first one, and there will be more because there's always going to be a lot of good art to talk about.
The best.
Yeah. So that one is going to be in the magazine, which is going to be released tomorrow. You'll be able to view the magazine on treatdao.com. You can also visit Treat socials. They have Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, you'll be able to find the magazine through all of those places. I think this one is like a whopping 50 pages. It is full of Halloween goodness.
Shelby says this host has added the max number of guests. Are you getting any
Oh,
guest requests?
I am not.
Oh,
You want to hop down and maybe it will let her come up.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Maybe it just lets me do one at a time. I'm learning. We're going to figure out the best way to do this as we go. Okay. So, Shelby, I guess if you try again, it should let me bring you up. Really excited to talk with Shelby. Her image was chosen for the cover. Just amazing. and I would love to chat with her about her submissions. Well, geez, y'all, this isn't really going the way I thought it would at all. I was hoping we'd have like 8 people all in our little boxes and be able to chit chat and have a good time. So you win some, you lose some. Oh, yeah, it worked.
Finally.
Thank you so much for coming by. How was your day?
Good. It was long. Sorry, I was letting John know. Thanks for letting me come.
Yeah, sorry about that. I have so much to figure out with all of this. So,
Oh
like,
no, you're
this is our first one, and we'll get better at this. But yeah,
oh,
so rock on. You totally on the cover of the Halloween magazine, and it's absolutely stunning. And
thank
then
you.
another big spread, like there's another photo that like takes up the whole 2 pages of yours, and it's just really beautiful.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, so I loved it. It was like, what would you call it? It was like with the dark wings and the horns.
I was thinking of succubus. That picture was taken. Oh gosh, I think like 4 or 5 years ago. Because obviously I'm blonde now. Um, but I think it was along like a succubus, and it was around Halloween time too. So I was like, I'll just do this.
Right, it's good. What is a succubus? I've heard that word so many times before, but when you said it, I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
It's basically like a sex demon, but let me Google like the actual definition because there's so many ways, different ways people interpret it. So I'm just like, oh, let me sorry, I had to figure out how to even write it correctly. A female demon believed to have sexual intercourse with sleeping men. That's what the definition is. I
Ah,
guess I have to sleep with men when they're sleeping. I don't know.
so, okay, I've heard stories about that before.
Mhm. I mean, I've heard a lot of like women. I haven't really heard about men, but women liking being woken up with sex. I guess it's just their kink, their fetish. Um, but it's actually quite common, surprisingly.
I mean, I wouldn't mind being woken up.
I think all of us wouldn't mind.
Now depends on who's doing it, but mostly.
Joke. No joke.
So, what you have any cool Halloween stories?
Um, oh gosh, I was trying to think of one when I was driving here. Um, I guess I just mainly trick or treated. I haven't really gone to a whole lot of like parties and had like, a lot of fun on Halloween. I just always, went out, trick or treated, and I was in South Dakota, so it was always so cold. But I guess I do remember one time we were in Rapid City, which is like 45 minutes away from where I lived in South Dakota. And this neighborhood would hand out soda and like big candy bars, and it was the best thing ever as like, a little kid.
Oh, yeah. Also, they gave the full size candy bars. You would take the loop and like go back around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just change it to a different costume.
Yeah. One year we gave out candy, and that's my new favorite thing to do. I really enjoy the giving out the candy, and I'm like up my strategy every year now. But one year we didn't really have much money for candy, so we had like one little bag, and it was gone pretty quickly. So we went and found like we have this like it was when we first moved here, and so people kept giving us random stuff like stuff for the kitchen, just all this stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
go get those bags of all that shit that we don't need anymore. And so we just started giving kids spatulas and
Oh my god.
bags of elbow noodles, potatoes.
I bet they love that. And I bet when their parents went through it, they're like, "Why do you have this?" Like,
spatula. Who gave you a potato? Like, hopefully a bag of elbow noodles because for some reason we had like a case of them, and I'm like, everybody's getting elbow macaroni. Like,
You can never go wrong with elbow macaroni.
I know. I think as a kid, I would be real. I'd be that kid that'd be like, yes, I got a spatula. Like,
I can make mac and cheese now.
yeah. I've been wanting to go to a haunted house. Are you into that kind of like being scared stuff?
I have been to a few haunted houses. It was when I was younger, so I don't remember a lot of them, but I'm not a big fan of being scared. Like I'm terrified of scary movies that have to do with exorcisms. Like I can't do it. It's too real for me. I can't do it. Um and I'm terrified of heights. So it's just like I'm just going to go in the corner over here and
Yeah, I feel that. I haven't watched horror movies really like since I was a kid. I think maybe in my early 20s I gave them a try again and I didn't sleep for a while. Like nightmares. I will have nightmares and I'm like I can't live like this. Like uh
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I have to watch them during the day, during the daylight, so that it's not as bad. Because that way I can distract my mind on like watching Disney movies or something else.
Yeah, the extent of my Halloween movies are like I even thought Coraline was scary. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it a long time ago, but it was kind of it was different.
Yeah.
Different. Like,
Well, I watched it again recently and I'm like, "Oh, this isn't as scary as I thought it was a couple of years ago." A couple of years ago, I actually made it through it. I'm like,
it's
but
probably just a different mindset you're in though too.
huh?
It was probably a different mindset you're in too.
Yeah, honestly, actually, yeah, it was in very different parts of my life, and when the first
Yeah.
time I watched it, I was like, "Absolutely not."
It's crazy how if you watch one movie and you're in kind of like a different mindset than what you normally are, and then you go and you watch it again in a better mindset and you're like, "Oh, this wasn't that bad." Okay. Like
True.
I'll sometimes watch some movies and I'm like, "Why am I crying? Dang it." Like
Yeah, yeah, I'm a crier for movies. Sometimes weird ones too, where I'm like, "That movie should not have made me cry."
Yep, exactly. But sometimes, when you need to cry and you're like, "I'm just going to watch a movie I know that'll make me cry and I'll feel better."
Yup.
Which I totally do.
Yeah, when I was younger, Fox and the Hound was like my go-to movie if I wanted to cry. Like that one just tore me up.
Yeah, that one is good. Bambi would get me a few times. Oh gosh, what are some other ones? There's a whole variety of Disney movies where I'm like, dang it. So like, why does that have to be so sad and happy at the same time?
It's a mixed bag life. It's like sad and happy.
It like teaches you about life too early. You're like, I didn't need to know this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 5 or however old you are. I don't need to watch this.
Oh my gosh, some of the older movies too are just like really dark and twisted. Just like, what the fuck? Who thought that this was appropriate?
I know, yeah, it's crazy. And then like I found one Disney movie that I absolutely love. Oh gosh, I forgot what it's called. But it basically has to do with fire, earth, wind, and water. And it is so good. Oh, I'm gonna Google it
Yeah.
real quick. I forgot what it's called. It's worth the watch.
Yeah, that's my level of movies. I like things that aren't too scary, too heavy,
Mhm.
or too
Oh,
violent.
Elemental, that's what it's called.
Oh,
It's
no.
not scary, but it'll definitely get you in heels. But
Well,
yeah, scary movies, I can't do it. It just no.
and I don't like gore and like bloody stuff. Even like
Yep.
took me a long time to be desensitized to movies enough to even watch
Mhm.
movies at all because my body doesn't know that it's not real. And it's taken a
Yeah.
long time for me to be like, it's not real. but I'm like, I feel it. Like it is real, and
Yep.
I still like in action movies. I'll skip through the fight scenes, or if it's like gross, I'm like, nah, nah, nah. Skip ahead, skip ahead.
Yeah, sometimes I will like if I get stuck watching a scary movie like during the day cuz I'm like, "You know what? I need to like stay awake or something. I don't want to take a nap. I'll watch a scary movie and I regret it." But I'll close my eyes or cover my eyes cuz I'm like, "Nope, it's almost done. It's almost done." like
What's your favorite? Do you have a decent scary movie?
there is actually one on Netflix. Here, I'm going to look it up. I'm horrible with remembering names. Like unless I've watched it a billion different times. Oh gosh. And it's a new one too. I probably won't find it, but there is another one that's actually pretty good called Knights of Zodiac and No Hard Feelings. No Hard Feelings had me dying of laughter just because of the stuff that she does.
I haven't heard of that one. I
Um,
would Something had me dying laughing. There was a documentary or something about LSD, and
oh
I
gosh.
I found that very comical. I was like literally laughing out loud. I'm like, I haven't laughed like that in a long time. Fuck yeah.
Imagine if you are on LSD and you're watching that, you would be crying, laughing so hard.
I know. I'm just hearing all these people tell their stories about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, wow. So nice to hear all these people talk about it, and the way they describe, like, yeah, that's a thing. I think we need more documentaries or more story time about such experiences, because
Oh, I've had some experiences.
same. I think it makes for interesting people and stories.
Oh, it does. Especially meeting some people, that are, they did some shrooms because you can just tell because they're like looking at the colors, they're like, oh my God. But hearing them talk, I'm like, you're hilarious. Like, I want whatever level you're on right now. Stay sober, but I really wish I was on the level you're on right now. Oh, people crack me up though.
Yep. Well, it's so good for you to join me. Thank you so much. And for
Yeah.
submitting your photos for the magazine. I was
Yeah.
telling you before you came on that it's going to be released tomorrow. You'll be able to find it at treatdao.com. You'll be able to get the link on the various treat socials, and we'll all share it too. So it has some good reads in there too. The one about the haunted houses. Have you ever been to a haunted house or had any encounters with, like, what's it
Uh,
called, paranormal?
I've had encounters with paranormal, like with ghosts and stuff. I'll normally just have to sage my house and then we're good. Um, or I'll have loved ones visit me and I can feel it. And it's hard to explain to people, especially people who don't believe. Um, but it's just like sometimes when they come and say hello, you can sometimes feel their emotions too, or whatever's going on, or if they're trying to show you a story and you're like, oh my God, I need to breathe. Like, but haunted houses, I mean, I guess I went to one. Oh wait, I just remembered this. So in high school, I actually helped do a haunted house. I can't believe I forgot this. Um, we did a haunted house at the Holiday Inn. Um, oh gosh, I don't remember what I dressed as, but I was something that was dead. Um, but we scared so many people. It was entertaining. I can't believe I forgot about that.
You got to be in it, like part of the actors, and
Yeah,
I think that was fun. I
yeah,
think
it
that
honestly was. I've been to one haunted house and I don't remember a whole lot of it. It was okay. I guess you could say if it didn't stick in my brain. But yeah, I was part of a haunted house. I can't believe I'm still like mind blown right now that I did not remember that. But I guess it was over like 15 years ago. So
Yeah, I've never been. I've been to only a party that was like a haunted house, and one of those things at like the amusement parks when they do those like haunted things, which was pretty cool. They had this whole like area that was all like black light fluorescent stuff, and it was dots everywhere, just black light, different colored dots everywhere. And the people were also, dots. And so they would just be against the wall and you couldn't see them
Oh,
because dots were everywhere, above you, below you, on the floor, and they would just like reach out and touch you and you're like, so it was like I'm like, I like that. That was fun. It wasn't gory or creepy or scary. I'm gonna have nightmares about that, but I'm gonna think about that. And
you're like, no more polka dots for now.
but I feel like my house definitely had some spirits when I moved in here. Like the first night that I stayed here, I had
Mhm.
one shelf and just like a couple of things on top of it. And I was like laying on the floor because I didn't have any furniture. And then like the shit on the shelf was like dunk, dunk, like right in front of my face on the floor. And I'm like, I can't live like this. Like this isn't gonna work out. And then over the next couple of weeks, like the cabinets in the kitchen would kind of like open themselves or close. So I had um me and my mom and this other lady, we did the smudging, and I literally made a grid like all above all the door frames. There's black tourmaline. It's like it's everywhere here. But it really did help a lot, and I
Yeah,
was surprised at how much, like, after doing that whole ceremony, it was like cabinets stopped opening and closing by themselves, like stuff didn't fall on the floor. I never felt like there was this scary entity. You know what I mean? I just felt like it was like,
they're
yeah.
just saying,
And I'm like,
welcome to my home.
yeah, finally, like I hung up every piece of art I had on the wall. Like it was almost madness, but it was my way of being like, this is my house now. Quite literally my house now. So if you would be kind enough to just, not do that. Hello, Shaka. Hi. So Shaka is the main designer of the magazine as far as putting it together aesthetically, and he just does such an incredible job every single time.
Yeah, he's me.
Yeah, fucking amazing. Nice to see you here.
Um, there's Tombstone, which is like I think 4 hours away from Phoenix, 4 or 5 hours. And it has a haunted building. I think they made it into a museum. And going inside there is so cool, but so creepy at the same time. Um, we didn't have any issues or we didn't see anything, but like if you're sensitive to any like emotions or energy or whatever, you could feel like the presence is there. You're like, oh my god, I can feel you. Like this is crazy. Um, but it's so cool. Like if you ever want to like visit a museum or something that isn't like as technically scary, like per se, you should visit there. I mean, it may scare you a little bit just because there's so much history, but it's worth it. And they have a big rose bush. It's like the world's largest rose bush there.
Oh.
It's I love going there.
I fangirl over flowers and bushes and trees.
Yeah. You so this bush is so big, you can walk underneath it like perfectly fine. Yeah.
Whoa,
It's massive. It looks like a tree. It's so beautiful.
that's rad.
Clear
There's
and beautiful.
this elderly guy that lives down the road. When I go for my walks, he has a ginormous rose bush. I mean, it's absurd. When it blooms, I'm like, wow. You definitely can't walk under it. But the biggest one I've seen, which is like every bit bigger than like a car. And yeah, I always tell him how nice his roses are. I'm not
Yeah,
sure though, but
roses I love roses. In South Dakota, I had a rose bush in my backyard, and just getting that scent in all the time, I'm like, oh, I love this.
yeah, and real roses are edible. The
Yeah,
petals, which is
yeah,
they are so delightful to eat. They were some of my favorites. They're like soft and
And they're like not too crunchy. It's just like because I know sometimes people will bake them.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh. I don't know why you would do that.
to dry out, but people put it in their bathtub and just let it float and everything. But it's really good for your skin.
Yeah, you can also like you dry them and like powder them up too. I tried making some deodorant and stuff
Mhm.
out of it for a while. I'm still trying to figure out the deodorant front. I've made a lot of recipes and tried a lot of different things, but
Mhm.
that's a conversation for another day. But roses anywhere on your body is delightful.
Oh, yeah, it smells heavenly. I like the smell of lilacs too.
Ooh, lilacs is
Yeah,
lovely. I should,
yeah. We also had a lilac bush, and I just like it was right by the porch door. So whenever we'd open it, you just like, oh, it smelled so good.
yeah. And not like those trees. There's like I don't know about there, but we have these trees that smell like semen when when they bloom.
I've heard about those.
They really do exist. It's awful. Like, but it's kind of cool too. Like I like to shake them and let all the petals fall, and I'm just like,
Like a bukkake on you with flower petals. Oh my god, that's so great. I would just go there and, film like a safe for work video of getting bukkakeed with flower petals that smell like sperm.
and it's so funny. Everybody who like smells them is just like, oh wow, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I want this every day, but
I know, but they're so beautiful. So I get why people plant them, and they do their thing, and they're very.
not this. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, I've heard of those, but I've never experienced them. So it's so great to hear that you've experienced it.
Yeah, they're pretty common around here, and I wish I knew what they were called. I'm like, I don't know. This is the ones that smell like cum. I don't know. Like, I'm sure that's an appropriate name, but
Oh, I have no clue, but it's so great just imagining getting bukkakeed with cum smell.
flowers
Just I cannot spit that out.
that happen in the spring. It's gonna be my goal because they're really perfect for once the flowers are they're bloomed, and you could just shake them. You know what I mean? Just kind of give the tree a good shake, and it'll just
Oh,
real.
that's so
I think I first encountered them down south. I want to say like South Carolina, maybe even like Alabama. I think the first time I saw those trees. I live up closer to DC,
Mhm.
so you definitely on the east coast of the states.
Um,
Tree.
so those flowers, the sperm flowers, are called Bradford pear trees. I'm
Brad?
not gonna try to say the real pronunciation of it, but yeah, the Bradford pear trees.
Okay, well, that's good. Bradford. I'll call him Brad.
Brad, just come on me, please.
Oh, Brad.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Just
uh,
hand people like your name is Brad.
it's also Brad. Brad.
Brad Jr.
I do name the plants. I'll go outside if something new pops up in my yard, and I'll be like, "Who are you?" My family's like, can't go up to a plant and ask them who they are," and I'm like, "Yes, I can."
It's crazy. I read somewhere where if you talk to trees, they kind of like protect you energetically. It's how they are. Um, and that they like if you hug one and if you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a tree. I've never done that before, but to hear someone else experience that, I'm like, I kind of want to try that. I want to hug a tree and try to see if I can hear the heartbeat.
I've never done that. I guess I've never hugged it for long enough to like really tune into. I usually touch them. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? hey, or like hey, but never like long enough to feel it. But trees, I really feel like they have personalities.
They do.
And some of them, like you always ask before you go up and hug a tree. You can't just go like touching trees. Just like you can't go up and touch people, really. That's like how I feel about it. And some of them are very much like, no, fuck off. And I'm like, all right, not that guy. And some of them are like, yeah, you're cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
To me, it just seems so vivid. I'm like, this is not a friendly tree. I
Yes, some trees give off that vibe where you're like, "No, I'm good. I'm good."
yep. But I
Well,
think
uh,
you
what's
know, I had like an aloe plant or something, she'd be like, "You have to say thank you and ask if it's okay, like before you pick off of it." And so that really always made a lot of sense to me. So I kind of like just grew up always knowing that plants like should
they
be,
know. Yeah.
yeah, like they're. I don't know. Then I have a dilemma about house plants now because of it because I'm so.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. It reminds me of Avatar. Cause I don't know if you've seen it, but Avatar is basically um like a sci-fi movie. It's not scary. It'll definitely get you in your feels though. Um but basically these alien subjects, I don't know their specific name, but they go off a tree and it's their mother, and she's connected to all other living trees and beings in there. um and they're all connected, and it's cool how it shows like how they're all connected.
Yes, with the green people, the big blue people, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
That was a perfect depiction of it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That's like it's probably actually similar to what is really going on
Yeah,
out.
because of energy and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I feel like even around like your space and your the natural space around your home, wherever it might be, will grow the plants that you need. The more connected you are, like almost like a mother's breast milk
Yeah.
adapts to be what the baby needs. I feel like the earth adapts to be what we need if we're know how to like connect with it. And
Mhm.
I think it's fun. I've been lucky enough to be in the same spot for like 7 years. So over 7 years, like seeing the volunteer plants that come up every year. And I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? Like, 1 year passion flower showed up and now it's everywhere. But I guess it's good for anxiety. And I'm like, I need all of this.
Yeah, passion flowers are great. And it's awesome we're having this conversation because you're dressed as a witch. You're like an earth witch, our herbal witch. I
Yeah,
love that. It goes with the theme.
it does. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad that we went together because this conversation has got all kinds of cool directions and I love it.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's one thing I like about live conversations with, especially with people you haven't met before, is you never know how many different conversations are going to happen within like a certain time frame. You're like, wow, so much.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it was a live thing too, because it keeps it flowing, and now it's out there.
Yeah, hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're here shooting shit about things, getting excited about the Treat magazine that's going to release tomorrow. Happy Halloween to you all.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see like the full spread and everything. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, she hasn't even seen the cover yet because I don't know. I wanted it to be a surprise. And I wanted it to just be released. So I'll probably share it. I wanted to make sure it was on track to be ready, and now it's all ready. So
Mhm.
I feel like
Oh
now we can officially um really do all the things. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. What's your costume, guy?
it's Sonic. So it's
Yeah,
funny.
I
I
thought it
wore
was squid or
the I'm sorry.
I thought it was a squid at first.
Yeah, so okay, there's so many there. Kind of looks like Sonic. I don't know. Um so a lot of different people yesterday, because I wore this yesterday for a work party. They thought I was Stitch off of Lilo and Stitch.
Ah, it
And I
kind
was
of
okay,
cute.
I'll take that. Yeah,
Yeah,
this little girl was so excited 'cause she thought I was Stitch. She's like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Stitch." Even
sure.
though, like, out I'm like, "This is Sonic, but I'm gonna go because I don't wanna burst your bubble."
Roll around. Like,
Do a whole bunch of somersaults. Oh god. I would've made myself so dizzy.
ew, it makes me sick. It just my body going around and stuff like that. Oh no. Cartwheels are even hard. Can you do a cartwheel?
I used to, I haven't tried, and I'm kinda scared to try.
Me,
I
me too.
already know I'm just gonna eat it because 'cause I'm a klutz. It's gonna happen.
So, I guess what else do I have to ask you? I was wondering, how long have you been doing like the adult content thing or what modeling and what else what do you have currently going on? Anything you need
Um,
to share or promote or
so, I mean, I guess I've been in the adult industry since 2016. Um, I started with modeling, and then I started camming, and then I got bored with camming, um, because sitting in a room by yourself, basically talking to yourself, it gets really hard, and it's hard for me to entertain a whole bunch of people. I start getting like a little bit of anxious. Um, so I was like, you know what? I really want to try porn, like videos. So I hit up a few content creators back in like 2016, and I was like, hey, like, do you want to do videos? And then it just kind of went from there. And then as for like the crypto side, I've been involved since like 2018. Um, I took a little bit of a break, and then in 2021, I had another company reach out to me and ask me to be like their ambassador. And this was like right when NFTs, were getting hit. So I did that for a little bit. And then right now I'm an ambassador, part of Front Fans, which I know you have heard.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a part of Front Fans as well. And Treat Dao, we're going to be doing some more stuff with Front Fans in the magazine and exploring some authentic marketing, doing some deep dives, really kind of, so I guess with the magazine, one of the things we've been exploring is like you could pay for ad space,
Hmm.
right? Or we could do more with ad space and actually get to know you. Um, Write the articles, get to know the platform, and kind of like do something more rich and authentic and
Yeah, yeah.
really getting to know the creators, getting to know the people who are building, what they're building, and why, and what it means to them. Um, so that's the kind of things that we're gonna do with Treat and the magazine and with the creators. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm glad you mentioned Front Fans because that's that was like one of those first. This one of our first like partnerships with another project and
Oh,
yeah,
it'll be. I love Front Fans.
I am totally digging it as well. So how did you get so what's your front fans going to be like? Like what's your page like?
So it has a lot of, my not safe for work videos, but I'm also trying to incorporate a lot of like paintings that I when I have time to do, that I'll do, or when I'm in the mood, to post that, and to post some more of like my personal life versus just, oh yeah, here's a video. Like, I just want it to be more personal for fans, where they're like, oh, this is who Shelby is.
Yeah,
Like, but never known.
that's sweet. Is that different? So that's different than what you've done before with your
Yeah,
content. Sweet.
yeah. No, like with my content, I treat it as like a video site. Even with like OnlyFans, I treat it like a video site. So I'll just post a video, I'll price it, and go from there. So it's nice to change a little bit and to do something different. I want
Yeah.
to see how. I'm excited.
Yeah. Me too.
And I like the Treat Dao NFT site. Like, I like posting NFTs on there because it's so easy to do. where I'm like, oh, I love this. Like,
Yeah, we're definitely looking into getting that kind of amped back up and used again. One of the ideas that we had was, for the submissions for the magazines and the creators, was if you mint your piece as an NFT, the magazine will buy that NFT and use it in the magazine,
mhm.
which is an idea that I'd like to explore. So hopefully in the future we'll like roll something like that out, because it's important. I feel that NFTs can be hard to sell sometimes. Like in 2021, it was great.
Yeah,
It was the goal.
hard.
It
Yeah.
was so fun. I didn't even realize how cool it was, honestly, until it kind of like came back down. And then I was like, "Holy shit, that was wild! Wow, the fuck happened?"
The
Um,
bear ride is hard, but when the bull market is on, you're like, oh, I love this ride. Like,
yeah, it was wild. So now it's like thinking about like, well, what can we do? How can we get um NFT sales? And I'm like, well, at the very least, we could use the magazine to help that whole process. It's like, because the magazine, the DAO, always pays the creators for their images, which I love. They're very good about that, and they always were, which is why I was really excited to come on more and become more involved with it, because yeah, it just even the fact like, just pay me for my stuff. I love that. Thank you.
yeah, I've loved about Tree is the fact that they will pay content creators for their time. A lot of other companies in the past that I had joined, they, would kind of take advantage of the content creators. And I personally was not okay with that. And well, and another thing is like, I'm so busy. Like, unless you pay me for the time it's going to take, I'm probably not going to do it.
Yeah.
Cause I get overwhelmed. So I'm like, I can't do this right now. Like,
I know, and it can be a lot, and there's just social media and posting stuff and keeping and then responding to people and answer like, so
no,
yes.
overwhelming.
Yes, being paid is fantastic. And then I just love the idea though of like, so if the magazine were to buy the NFTs, then the magazine would have a collection. And in that collection would be all the images that are in the magazine. And for me, I'm like, I just see opportunities for gallery showings for that. It could just go so much further, than
Yeah.
just in the
Yeah.
magazine. And like those, there's so much more that could be done with NFTs, and it's been the bear market and people haven't really been into it, but I really believe it's going to come back and it's going to evolve and morph, because it's just really a neat thing. And I don't think it's really that hard to understand when I try to explain it to people. I'm like, it's just like
It's an
owning
art.
a digital image, you know what I mean? It's not really that like, it's just like another way to sell things or own things.
Yeah, I think it's just more the fact that people are still iffy about crypto itself. Um, a lot of people don't realize that it's not fake money, it's real money. A lot of people just think it's kind of like monopoly money. And it's like, no, you use your own money to create, a coin or an NFT marketplace, and then it turns into more real money. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah, because in the bear market, the little bits of crypto that I've had have been really like gotten me through.
yeah,
Sometimes or help to make ends meet and things like that. And I just really can't even imagine a
yeah.
life without it anymore.
It's crazy because I wish that I would have joined back in like high school when I first heard about Bitcoin. I'm like, dang it, I should have joined then. But I was just so unsure of it. And I'm like, I don't know. Um, and I think that's part of the reason why I understand why some fans are so hesitant to joining crypto, because it's new and it can be so complex and you get overwhelmed with the information. Um and there's things that are always changing and evolving. So like I get why fans can be hesitant, but at the same time, if we can have a marketplace or anything that makes it so easy for fans, it'll go far.
Yeah. I spaced out for a second. Sorry, I was just thinking about the other creators and how this did not really go the way that I wanted it to go, and hopefully nobody else tried to join. So if you're watching
I was looking
tried to come by, I'm really sorry.
kept looking at the chat to make sure like if any other creators wanted to join. I'm like,
Did anyone say anything?
no.
Okay,
Uh-uh.
okay.
I do like to tag people, but like, who wants to join? Like, I don't want to be the only one.
It's cool having Jay Stanley. He submitted some photos as well. He did some burlesque photography with
Oh,
film. Really neat stuff. So it was like black and white fire burlesque.
oh, who was that? I
Uh,
missed the name.
Stanley, he was on here before you.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we had a
That's
variety.
so
This time we have Rio Venture. She does doll art and does like writes horror author. Um and so she has some images with like her doll art. Actually, you have one of her dolls. When I first became like Pollyanny, one of my fans commissioned her to make me a doll, like or to make a Pollyanny doll. And so that's how I know her, and I reached out to her about, content for the magazine because I was like, oops, it would be really cool to have some doll art on there. So this is the
oh, that's
Pollyanny,
so cool.
like she had paint on her feet and my hula hoop. And I have this red beanie and this outfit. And there's also a Pollyanny with a head with a bunch of dicks in a jar here.
I love that.
um,
Are those like the bad dragon little mini dildos?
I really I don't know. That's great. That's a really good question. She was going to maybe join today, and we were going to get the chance to chat with her. So hopefully we'll be able to do that another time.
Oh, I
Huh?
love all she created you. That is amazing.
Isn't
Like,
that? I,
yeah,
I was just blown. I mean, I have the same outfit. I have to share a picture eventually. Like I even like posed with the doll in the outfit that I have of it. I'm like, it's a little mini me.
yeah. You got to get the hula hoop and put on your red hat and the outfit and just do like a comparison right next to each other.
Even I put my tattoos on there and everything. It's just so on point. It was such a treat. What else
That's,
did we have in the magazine? Liv X Gem. Her images were stunning. I mean, like she's in a bathtub, and I mean, it's just full goddess mode. Like,
she's a little hottie.
holy shit, definitely. Um, Brittany, bitch for you. She had some nice spooky images. They fit in real good in the creepy pasta.
She's a sweetheart. I absolutely love her.
I love her. What a darling. An absolute darling. One of her images, she's like on this big hay bale that's like a jack-o'-lantern thing, but she's just like naked laying across this big, it's just really stunning. See, who else was there? I have the folder pulled up. I know I'm forgetting people. Natalia.
It sounds like there are a lot of creators, and that's amazing.
Yeah, Chrissy Phoenix. She has some neat stuff. Hers was cool. Like she's like in a confessional room.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's just a whole cool set, in the confessional room, and then another set with like the really cool lighting and these chains and really fit good. Rob Sloan, he always puts like his fucking fine art stuff in there. That's amazing. He has a pink witch in there, which I was kind of trying to cosplay. That was his. He sent this photo and was like the pink witch for the Halloween, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be the treat, pink witch.
Rob's images, they're so unique, and artistic. I love it.
Yeah, and the high definition stuff that he's doing is just neat. You can like zoom into it and it's just all like, oh. Who else had stuff? I guess that's all. I have some photos in there as well. And so, if anybody is watching this and you want to be involved in the holiday magazine, which is going to be coming out around the winter solstice ish time in December, we'll be putting out an open call for content for that pretty soon as
Yeah,
well. So
spoke with Devin or Rob. I can't remember who I spoke with, but I'm gonna try to bring some creators on too. Because he's like, "Will you bring some more people on?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Wonderful. Yeah. We were talking a little bit about like a possible article that you're going to be involved in,
yep."
right? And I love it. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
So we kind of were, throwing ideas back and forth, and we're thinking of what good gifts are like for like sexy or not sexy, or what to do or not to do for Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate within that time frame. um so I don't know, I was kind of gonna go off of like love languages in a sense, because yeah, because it's hard, because if you know your partner likes acts of service, and you're trying to think of stuff that they like, that would be like an act per se. So I was kind of, gonna try to do something like that.
I think that's brilliant because gift giving, love
Yep.
language, I mean, it means a lot because I have a son and he does not like gifts. He's like, please don't buy me stuff. Like, don't buy me stuff. It pisses me off. And I'm like, okay, fair. I'm not gonna buy anything. Let me do something for you, or be useful. And so those things are great no matter what kind of relationship, is just knowing what actually means something to someone,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's worthy of a gift, because I don't like the capitalistic, like, we should just buy gifts to buy gifts. You know what I mean? It should be something special. And what does like an act of service look like, as a gift? Like, to me, it'd be like literally someone could come and clean my house, and that would be wonderful. You know what I mean? That's a gift. I mean, if they wanted to come do it, wrapped up in, cute underwear or something, that's even cooler, but
And give you with something. Yeah, it's crazy because you don't realize how many people have a variety of different love languages until you ask them, like, what makes you feel good. Like, do you like giving? Do you like quality time? Do you like words of affirmation? So it's like it's best to figure out like what your partner likes to do for you. Like, let's say, like, it makes them feel good if they give you or if they have quality time with you. So like during Christmas, be like, all right, let's spend time, let's put our phones away, like let's
Yeah,
do sexy time, whatever. Like, because it'll make your partner feel good in return. So
that's awesome. Well, when we get closer to that holiday season, we should do a whole nother one of these and do a deep dive into it and kind of go over it. If that ends up coming to fruition, that would be really cool.
oh yeah.
So we're at about like we're like over an hour now. So I didn't want to take up too much time. It's a bummer none of the others could join, but we're going to figure this out and do it better next time and make sure that we can all hang out, because I kind of wanted us all to be, but that's okay. It was really nice talking to you. I think the first
Yeah.
time we really gotten to like hang out and talk. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it has been.
I mean, we've been in the same circles for at least a couple of years. So
Oh
there's not
yeah.
too many of us yet in this like Web3 sort of
Sure.
adult
Yeah.
space. No camaraderie with you all that are here. So,
Yeah, no, it was nice meeting you like virtually versus through a chat room.
yes, I'm so much more of like that. Like, I prefer to meet people in person is even better for me. Like, I'm really socially awkward, but I still feel like it's so much easier for me to understand everything when I can actually see someone. Like a video call, or a lot of video call, like just a phone call or a voice chat, like those really fuck me up. Like, this is so much better for me, just being able to see the person. And um
Yeah. And
yeah,
you
and
can still
even
express.
face. Like, I keep not get distracted because I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is
Yeah. Yeah, especially because text, you can't always tell the tone.
yeah.
Like, I can come off really blunt, and I'm like, I need to put a smiley face because it's gonna cross mean. Like, and I try not to. It's just like, I don't know. I word things differently. So I'm like, oh, I didn't mean this to hurt their feelings. Like,
And it happens, and it is a weird thing to feel like you have to do the emojis or the smiley faces because
Mhm.
I'm really okay with bluntness. I'm like, especially a lot of times like in business or in chats, it's just like we don't have time for niceties always. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
and I'm so, like, black and white, so sorry. So I'm always like, "Crap, I hope this doesn't come out mean, like, I don't mean it to be mean," like yeah, I always feel bad, I'm like, "Oh, man."
or like let me go back in and put a smiley face so at least they know I'm like. But then I
Exactly.
don't ever like use the mad face or anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I part of the reason why I don't join in on chat rooms as much though too, because 'cause I'm like, "This would be better if there was voice or, like, face to face, because I don't want it to come out, you know, like I'm being mean."
Yeah.
It'll break.
I mostly think that, oh, how do I say without being like opinionated? I think it's okay to come across as short, okay? Because sometimes I feel annoyed that I have to use emojis so that people understand what I'm feeling. But also, I understand that that's kind of like hard to not hard. If you want to express emotion, emojis are okay. But if you want to be blunt, that's also okay too.
Exactly, exactly.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody who is watching and who stopped by and who happens to watch this at a later date, check out the Treat magazine coming out tomorrow, the Halloween special coming out on Halloween. You can find it on treatdao.com. You can find it on the socials. There's Twitter or X now, and Instagram. Um, I don't know if I can leave the link. I don't trust leaving links on YouTube anywhere. So you'll find it. If you internet search Treat Dao Magazine, you're going to find it.
I think you can put it in, like, the comments or the
The comments.
yeah, the comments, yeah. In
Or
it.
warnings. I'm like, just no links anymore. Even my Medium account got um, a warning against it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Because, but I do have some articles that the title says NSFW, but there's really actually nothing.
Mhm.
It's all stuff I would, it,
Everyone's being
yeah, weird. So no more links on YouTube, but you guys will find it. And thank you all for joining. Thank you for Shelby for coming here,
Yeah,
and Jay Stanley for coming by, and
and Shaka
thank
and
you
whoever.
in the magazine. Rob for writing all the stuff. What an amazing writer and amazing artist and overall great person. Thanks to Treat Dao for sponsoring this event and for sponsoring the magazine and giving creators and artists and members in the community opportunities, a platform, a voice, the chance to make things happen to bring our visions to life. So it's super dope work that we're doing here.
I hope you all have a good night. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm so hungry.
Thank you for your time. It was
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
yeah, nice meeting you.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.